Hi guys, it's Red here, and I got fresh news about Sandbox server for you. I have translated a report of the Wargaming which was released to the Russian community yesterday. Probably all other World of Tanks bloggers will talk about it later when there is some translation available, but as I have a chance to read the original report, I'm often first with the freshest news, so stay tuned. Was a nice self-ad. So, this is what the Wargaming said. I will omit their thanks about players' feedback and get to the points. Wargaming has collected a lot of information on the Sandbox test server, which will be analyzed soon to see what changes were good and bad, which ones were popular, which ones weren't as good as players expected them to be. Stage 1. On Stage 1 there was a change in accuracy. A dispersion within the aiming circle was changed from more tending to the center to a flatter one. Rounds still tend to the middle generally, but can more often divert strongly. This was made to prevent snapshots and other crazy no-aimers at 500 meters. This change forced players to aim completely to hit the target. On average, medium tanks started to deal 20 to 25% less damage per battle. Heavies and TDs lost roughly 10 to 15% of average damage. Unfortunately, this feature also affected the players who aimed completely, but still missed too much. Therefore, the changed accuracy will not be introduced to World of Tanks. Instead, some other ideas are already in work and will be tested. It will take some time. During the test of penetration falling over distance, it was concluded that heavies didn't start to bounce off more shells. Instead, they suffered from a ton of heat rounds, which don't lose penetration over distance, and therefore they will need to be rebalanced as well. And this will change gameplay a lot. If Wargaming succeeds in rebalancing all shells penetration, there will be no need to introduce falling penetration over distance. We'll get back to it later after making thorough analysis and running some models. The type of the falling penetration which was tested on Sandbox will not be introduced into the game. The idea of changing alpha of 122mm guns of heavy tanks from 400 to 440 was met generally well by the players. The collected statistical data will be analyzed. If these changes won't affect other tanks, this change will be introduced on the main server. Let us remind you again that analyzing data is a long process and we must be completely sure about it before it's released onto the main server. The changes for high caliber guns alpha damage didn't affect the effectiveness and gameplay of the Jagdpanzer E100. The British TDs, on the other hand, got their stats unbalanced because they fire primarily hash rounds, which were changed significantly. We will keep working on vehicles with high calibers, but not in the current iteration of Sandbox. Stage 2. Generally, the players like the debuffing mechanics introduced for artillery, and we are interested in improving it even further. The debuff effect on super heavy tanks was increased, whereas its effect on light tanks wasn't changed. The complete analysis is still to be made, but one can already conclude that this played a positive role on the battle process. Within the coming weeks, we will continue to improve these mechanics for a wider range of vehicles tier 5 to 10, and tier 5 to 7 artilleries will be on super test. Some new interface features like marking the focus area for allies or debuff markers were met positively by the players and helped to improve team play between SPGs and other tanks. We will continue to improve these features in the future. The consumables, which can be reused after a certain time, were also met very positively and added more dynamics to the last parts of the battles. At the same time, it didn't change the game economy. The player only pays for the consumable for using it the first time. 3 SPGs per team limit turned out to be useful as well. Players aren't afraid of getting a sudden present from the sky and play more actively. Unfortunately, this means a slightly longer wait for the matchmaker to form teams. So what's next? The accuracy and penetration fall didn't show the desired results. We will need time to analyze and make proper adjustments to those mechanics, or simply cancel them at all if we can't do that. The SPG changes will continue to be tested, including tier 8 and 9 arties from 27th February and on, when the third stage of Sandbox will start. Also, the new tier 9 and 10 light tanks will be added to the Sandbox server. This was the news post from the Wargaming. Please express your opinion about it in comments down below. If this video was interesting for you, like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe to get the freshest news from me. Thank you for your attention and goodbye.